three. She tipped in at an even 113 pounds. This young gal has 2 wins and 2 losses. From Atlanta, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to Atlantic City in the Tropicana, Natasha O.J. Wilburn. And her opponent in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the black trim. She weighed in at an even 116 pounds. Now this young lady is undefeated in 3 pro bouts with 1 knockout. She is the New York City Golden Gloves champion. From Pauling, New York, ladies and gentlemen, here is Leona Downtown Brown.
Bosses, to both of you, we have been giving your instruction to the dressing room. I respect a good, clean fight. And respect my commands at all times. Touch love. When the bell rang, come out fighting. Good luck to the both of you.
We're ready to go. There is Downtown Leona Brown. 3-0 record. And across the ring, Natasha Wilburn.
Leona only started fighting a year ago, but she's already looking toward a title shot in September, so tonight's a big night for her.
And she gave up everything to box. This is her job now.
This is her full-time job.
An astonishing comment for such a few number of fights, but that means she is training full-time and devoting everything to this sport at age 27.
She's coming out strong.
Good hooks by Leona Brown, a good jab, and she has a good sense of balance.
Yeah, she fought here on the first card in January, and she's an exciting fighter. Natasha's going to have her hands full tonight.
And Leona a threat to take her fighters downtown at any time. Good power, some pretty good poise here. Halfway through the first round, of course, the women's fights, as we mentioned, 2 minutes per round. And you see a lot of action in the 2-minute scenario.
Absolutely, they come out and they get the most done that they can in the 2 minutes because of the shorter rounds. Downtown, Leona Brown was a Golden Glove as an amateur. She debuted last September in the pros, and she's ranked number 7 in the IWBF.
Natasha Wilburn went southpaw for a second. That did not work. Then she takes some shots from Brown. Now coming back.
And Natasha also boxes full-time. She used to be in construction, but devoting her time exclusively to boxing these days.
Same idea as Leona Brown, to try and go full-time with it. This first round has been a tough one for her, as Downtown Brown with a good opening round. They come to the end of what has been a long 2 minutes for Wilburn.
See if we can pick up what the corners say to Natasha.
The corner of Leona Brown, calm between rounds, and Natasha Wilburn had the riot act read to her, and rightfully so. They said, move around. They sensed the trouble that she could be in, Lucy.
Right, and get those hands up. She's taking some shots. And
good shots here by Leona Brown. The jab, the crisp right hand, and Wilburn holding on.
Leona Brown, in her last fight, had a second-round TKO over Sue Chase. And looks like she'd like to end this before the 4th round tonight as well.
Well, if she can get a body attack going, that will really help with what she's trying to do upstairs.
She hasn't gone to the body much at all, Dave.
Leona Brown can't miss the target right now of Natasha Wilburn.
Natasha just wanting to hold on and catch a breather for a second, I think, Dave.
I think Natasha Wilburn finding out that she's at another level at this point. And whether she can rise to that is the question in this fight, but she's doing a lot of holding here and really is a candidate to have a point taken away for holding if this continues. And she is holding on for dear life in there,
Yeah.
and too much so.
I would think that she'd get a warning very shortly.
Wilburn trying to get the room inside to punch, and Leona Brown very happy to oblige anywhere they want this fight to take place.
Yeah, she's throwing punches even as she's holding one.
If Wilburn could use her energy to punch instead of holding on, she could get a lot more started here. She did get one good jab in, and then Brown with the right hand.
Yeah, she hasn't, Natasha hasn't been very active at all.
So, Downtown Brown continues to dominate.
Outside. I told you to stay inside, okay? That's where you getting hit at. You got to move your head. Then you ain't move your head. Just kind of straight up. You got to move your head a little.
Well, Natasha Wilburn is going to make sure she doesn't get knocked down. She holds. And Downtown Brown
She might pull Leona down with her.
trying to get some punching room, and finally the referee gives her some.
You got to step around, okay? Don't stand right in front of them. Come on,
Telling her-
jab, and move your head, okay? Right. Second down.
Natasha Wilburn, as you heard, being told jab, jab, and move your head. That's how they draw it up, and that's how the sparring sessions go. But in the ring, it's not always the same story. Dave Bontempo, Lucy Jones, and Jack McCaffrey, glad you're with us from the Tropicana, and a fiery opening bout here.
Yeah, her corner told her to move around. She throws one jab and then she holds. She's not following the game plan.
Natasha Wilburn has not mastered the art of jabbing and then following up. And Leona Brown measuring her with the jab and then the right hand. But despite her intensity, cannot get a lot of momentum generated here.
And I think she's just overwhelmed a little by the skill of downtown Leona Brown. And as we mentioned, only been fighting professionally for a year, but certainly has a lot of ring generalship.
That was a big right hand by Leona Brown after the stiff jab. Another good jab by Leona Brown. Big right behind it, and Wilburn is hurt. Then the body shots. Wilburn taking a lot here. Exhaustion, a big enemy of Natasha Wilburn, and would make her a candidate to be a TKO victim.
And she's standing right in front of those punches, Dave. She's not moving around at all.
She cannot take so many flush shots and remain standing for too long and remain in the fight. And body shots are also wide open for Leona Brown.
Yeah, Leona says that when she trains, she hops, jumps, climbs mountains, and sprints to get power leg, which, of course, make her punches that much more powerful. And certainly giving Natasha a lot of abuse tonight.
Big right hands again. This one could be close to being stopped. Referee looks in, will let it go, and round number 3 will come to a close. And just in time for Natasha Wilburn.
Leona pointed to her head to imply a headbutt, I think, there at the end of that round.
She's like this. What city you in? Look at my face. Look at me, honey.
Some good technical work by Brown. The stiff jab, nice right hand behind it. Her best sequence in the fight.
Absolutely, that was a nice right.
Kept on going, and you see Wilburn holding on any way possible, blatantly if necessary. Good right hand again by Brown. You see more looks at her good offense in round 3 as she wears down Wilburn, and Wilburn's gas tank has to be on E.
When she came to the corner, Dave, she asked what round it was.
As if to say, you mean I've got to do one
One
more?
more.
So the final round here, Brown and Wilburn. We'll see if Wilburn has a little bit stored up. Fighters may sometimes, knowing that the end is near, but it has been all Leona Brown in terms of effectiveness in this fight.
Yeah, Dave, she better have a lot stored up if she wants to pull out a victory in this one.
A lot stored up and then score a knockout,
Yeah, it has to be a knockout.
which doesn't seem like it's in her style of fighting.
No, she has not been very active at all.
Leona Brown has been much the master against Wilburn. Good uppercut. Wilburn holding on to try and get to the distance here. But there is a big difference, Lucy, in the technique and skill level of these fighters.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, Natasha realizes it. She'll realize it, I'm sure, after the fight when she can sit and think about it and watch the tapes. Definitely two different skill levels. And downtown Leona Brown looks like she may be ready for a title shot in September.
Well, the good jabbing here by Brown. What she may want to work on in future fights, something she can pick up from here, is her body attack.
Yes. She probably, if she had started out working that body, Natasha might not have still been here in the 4th round.
Well, one thing Leona Brown will be happy for in about 20 seconds is that she doesn't have to hold on to Natasha Wilburn anymore. She has been in some headlocks, some body locks, and when she gets time to fight, has been quite effective, as you see there. And finally, we see the end.
And he's stopping it.
As Wilburn's holding works as much to her detriment as anything else, and downtown Leona Brown starts the celebration. I'm bad, and I know it.
She's dancing like she's downtown.
So she had enough energy at the end to put on a little bit of a show. In the final stages, the holding of Wilburn and the dominance of Leona Brown, forcing this one to be stopped.
And keeping Leona Brown undefeated.
She will go to 4-0 now, and there's a bonus for her. She will get her 2nd knockout. A good look at the end of it here as Brown is doing the damage, the short right hands, and those 2 right hands prompting the intervention of the referee.
Yeah, he's seen enough. There was no way that Natasha Wilburn could have won that fight, and just taking unnecessary abuse at that point, and frustrating Leona with the holding.
Leona Brown, quite an interesting personality. Soft-spoken at times, but has a lot to say when she does open up.
A lot of action in that 4'11" body.
Hey, it takes a lot of courage and will to give up any job and go for this at this point.
Oh, definitely, to do this full time.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Ed Johnson moves in and stops this bout at 1 minute and 49 seconds of the 4th round, and a winner by a TKO and still undefeated, Leona Downtown Brown. And how about a nice round of applause for Natasha O.J. Wilburn. Let's hear it for her.
Well, will they be dancing in the downtown streets of Paulding, New York pretty soon to celebrate this warrior? She certainly thinks so.
Proves her record to 4-0 with 2 knockouts. And looking for that title in the very near future.
And she's in women's boxing, in which the titles can come pretty quickly. And so she would want to work on a few things and continue to improve fight by fight.
Right, and you know, as we mentioned during the fight, she's only been fighting professionally for 1 year, so she certainly has come a long way in 1 year. But as you mentioned, if she adds a body attack to her offense, it certainly will help her in her fights.
She showed good tendencies with the jab. She showed good tendencies with the short chop.